Hey, what's up, y'all? I'm 1000. I'm an artist from Seattle, Washington. You know, I'm an artist first, but I'm also slowly becoming a YouTuber. It's a whole new, brave, crazy new world. You know, I upload every week on Sunday. I'm on my way to 100,000 subscribers, and I'm like a bona fide YouTuber now. So I've been getting more and more questions in the comments about how I make my YouTube videos, what kind of equipment I use, what program I use to edit my videos. So I thought it's time. It is time. The time has come. I'm going to kind of show off a little bit of the equipment that I use and tell you how I make my YouTube videos. I'm not a professional photographer. I'm not a professional filmmaker. I came into this like complete zero novice, no knowledge, with a desire to just kind of like share my art, share my story, show my crazy art adventures. Like when I make a mural, even if it's like a big outdoor mural, like that community maybe gets to appreciate my art. But if you're not there and you're not looking at it, then I don't get to really share it with anybody else. So I got into YouTube because I wanted to share my art and my story with more people. And now it's kind of grown. It's grown a little bit. So I'm going to talk through some of my gear, maybe try to give you some other insider information on how I make my YouTube videos. But yeah, don't be like intimidated, because I didn't know anything when I started YouTube, and I still know like barely anything. I'm just kind of figuring it out every day. But let's talk about some of these crazy things that are laid out on this table here. I'm gonna start with my main camera. It's the Sony a6500, and I really like it because it can shoot 4K. It has in-body image stabilization. So like when I'm just holding my camera, it's got some cool technology inside of it that like stabilizes the image. And then also like the Sony lenses also have stabilization. So you've got like stabilization inside the camera, stabilization inside of the optical steady shot or whatever inside of the lenses. So it's like double stabilization. Pretty much all of my stuff is like kind of run and gun. I shoot all my own videos. I edit all my own videos. I obviously like make the art or whatever. A lot of my shooting style is like putting it on a tripod and recording super long clips, half-hour clips, and then I speed it up to like 9,000% in Adobe Premiere. It's kind of like a time lapse. A time lapse is where you like take a picture like every 5 seconds or every 10 seconds or every 30 seconds, and then you put them all together into this like slideshow, and it's like tick, 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 and it's kind of like this super fast motion thing. But I prefer to record super long video clips, speed them up to like insane speeds, and it looks like a time lapse, but it also gives me the option to like go back to regular speed if something interesting happens. Like, you know, there's been videos where I'm like recording really long takes, and then somebody walks up to me and just starts talking to me and says some like interesting things. So I go back to normal speed and kind of splice that into the video. If something crazy happens, I just want to be able to flip-flop back and forth between like fast motion and regular speed. The only problem with shooting like that is that you go through batteries like super hardcore, super fast. So I have a bunch of batteries here. There's a battery in this camera. There's a battery in the camera that's filming me. There's 2 batteries here. There's 2 more batteries here. And then there's 3 more batteries kind of floating around in my office. I would recommend, if you're going to be shooting with Sony cameras at all, to get at least 4 batteries. And having power at like a mural location or near an art project is really beneficial, because like while one camera is recording, you can be charging the dead batteries. So having tons of batteries on you is like a must. But yeah, that's the Sony a6500. All of my cameras are covered in paint. My resale value on these is pretty low because I get paint on everything. And then it's a pretty small, like this is a pretty big lens, but like it's a pretty small little camera. So when I have like the kit lens on here, it's just like this tiny little lens, super discreet, super lightweight. Yeah, but this is my newest lens and also my main lens. It's a Sony 18-105, blah, blah, blah. I'll like type it out on screen. But it shoots 18 millimeters, which is like pretty wide, all the way to 105 millimeters, which is like super zoomed in. So it's like a really versatile lens. It's got the stabilization inside of it, which is dope. And it's just like super versatile because it can shoot really wide and then shoot really close. And it's my newest one. I really like it. The only problem is it's kind of big, kind of heavy, but I really like this lens. This lens kind of stays on my camera ever since I got it. like 90% of the time. Yeah, favorite lens for sure. And then I have this 10 to 18 wide angle lens, the Sony one. When I was filming a mural in Long Beach, I actually broke it. Like that should not be able to move there. It like the wind came and like blew the tripod over and it took like a nosedive into the ground. So it actually only shoots 10 to 14. It can't zoom in anymore. So like 10 millimeters is the widest that it can go, like super wide angle. And 18 is the closest that it can go, but I can't go past 14, which is fine because I only use this as like an ultra wide angle lens, and it's really good like if you're filming a mural in like a tight hallway, or like I do a lot of art on the street in like tight little areas, and it's really nice to have like a super wide angle lens to be able to shoot really wide even though my camera is really close. And also I always like film by myself, and if I'm like filming a mural, I'm like focused on the wall, and I want my camera to be like close to me in case somebody like tries to grab it on the street. So having a wide angle lens, it means I can like position my camera like 5 feet from me and still capture like a huge chunk of the wall. So it's like good for anti-theft protection too. Which you probably don't hear a lot of people talk about with wide angle lenses. You can keep the camera close to you and still capture like a whole bunch of stuff. The only thing I don't like about this is like when I film myself with this, it makes me look like stretched out. Like when I like put my camera on like the Gorilla Pod or something and self shoot with the wide angle lens, I look like it's, you know, the camera adds 20 pounds or something like that. This is my macro lens. It's for like super duper close-ups. When I like finish a painting and I want to kind of show the details, I pop the macro lens on there and get real close. I use this very rarely, but that's when I use this, just super duper close-ups. Also like B-roll, like if I want to get some like really close shots of like my paint brushes or my paints or whatever, just to be like, ooh, vibiness, I use that. And then I have the A6500 kit lens on that camera. That camera is the Sony NEX6. That's the first camera I ever bought, and all of like my super old YouTube videos were filmed on that. And then I ended up selling it to Chelsea's cousin, my wife's cousin. And then a little bit later down the road, I was like, man, I shouldn't have sold that. I need like a second camera that's like pretty affordable and that I can shoot with. And also like Chelsea's thinking about doing a few YouTube videos, so I wanted her to have like a camera to use. So I bought it again. Great camera. Like, I don't know, it shoots like 1080p. It's got good like Sony electronics in it, but it's really affordable. So if you're thinking about getting a first camera, I definitely recommend the Sony NEX6. That's what I'm filming on right now, so that I can like get shots of my A6500 in this video. Yeah, so those are my lenses. The kit lens is, what is it? It's at 18 to 50. I don't know. It's got like decent zoom on it. And it's really small. Then I have this like sort of mini monitor, and this is cool because I can like on the Alpha series, like the lens doesn't flip around and face forward. So I put this like this because I pretty much always film myself. And then there's like a HDMI cable that goes from here to here. So you can put it like, do that, pop this open, do that. So yeah, that just kind of allows me to see what's going on. Really useful when I'm filming myself, especially for the like talking, when I'm talking to the camera. And also I have this like top-down shooting rig, and I will like screw my camera onto that so it's aimed straight down on my art, and then I hook this up on this Gorilla Pod and like strap it to the bar, and then I've got this little like monitor so that I can make sure that like my painting is in frame and everything without having to like stand up and like look over the top of the camera. So this little monitor is really useful and probably one of my favorite purchases that I've made. I've got this little light that I used to use a lot more, but I have like video lights now. So this thing is just a little battery operated mini light. It can be useful in a lot of situations, and it's really cheap. So I have two of these. Don't use them that much anymore because I have like professional lights now. For audio, I have this Rode Smart Lav on my lapel right now, and I just run it straight into my iPhone. And when I like start the video, I clap, and then I just export the audio off of my phone, run it into a program called Pro Tools, edit the audio, add some EQ, add some compression so it sounds like nice and crispy, bring it into Adobe Premiere, and because I clapped, it makes a sound spike in the waveform, and I just line the sound spike from this mic up to the sound spike from the internal mic in the camera, and it's all synced up. And then I have like another lavalier mic that was a lot cheaper. It's by Powered to Weiss. I just find that the normal volume of this is a little bit loud for my voice, and I talk too loud and it makes it distort. And because I'm recording into my iPhone, I don't have like mic preamp volume gain control. So if I recorded into like an external recorder or into my camera, this would be great, but I don't really have volume control and it's a little bit too loud, but it's a good mic. And then I have this H4n, Zoom H4n recorder. This is good for if there's like a group of people that I need to capture. If I need to capture any like just sound effects or anything like that. I don't use this a ton, but it's like nice to have in my camera bag for when I need better audio of a certain situation. And you can also run a couple regular microphones into it, so you could do like interview type situation. Whew, a lot of stuff. And then this is my gimbal. It's a Zhiyun crane. I think that's how you say it. Zhiyun. It's dope. You balance your camera. I can turn it on. It's like, makes the shot super smooth. So you put your camera on there, kind of balance it, and then you can, it doesn't have a camera on it right now, so it's kind of freaking out. But yeah, put your camera on there, balance it. I added this little like stand to it so that I could stand it up. And this like handlebar thing, I don't use these handlebars that much. I put them on for this video because it looks so cool. I use this pretty often for like the final shots of a mural or something like that. Because I self-shoot so much, I don't get to use this that much because like I'm painting and I can't like move around with a gimbal and paint a mural. And like I feel like my videos could be so much better like if I was duplicated and there was like one of me to like get awesome shots and film and another of me to do the art project. But because I make my videos myself, a lot of times the camera's just like on a tripod and I try to change up the angles and stuff. This thing's really rad, especially when I shoot videos for other people. I really get to kind of work with this thing and do cooler shots. Yeah, GorillaPod, just useful to have. This I got because somebody yelled at me in the comments of one of my YouTube videos. It's an ND filter and it filters out like a lot of direct sunlight or too much light. It's really nice. I should have got one a long time ago. So like I'm super white, I'm super pale. I never get any sunlight because I'm always inside like doing nerdy drawings, and the light like blasts out my skin and I always look like pure white in my videos. So I've actually been using this indoors a lot too for my video lights, just to kind of like make me look a little bit less like Casper the Friendly Ghost. And then this is like my SD hard drive. I have two of these. When I fill my memory cards, I dump them onto this. It's a really fast external hard drive. It's good for video editing. And I have a bunch of memory cards. This was a 32 gig. I bought this for Chelsea because she wanted to do some videos. I have a 128 gig. I have a 64 gig. When I'm like filming a mural, I'll end up kind of filling a card or two throughout the day, depending on how much I'm recording. But then I just take that footage, dump it onto my laptop, onto the external drive, format the memory card, start shooting again. And then this thing is cool. Another thing that makes this really rad is that it has power in and then it has power out. So you can actually like plug the power out into there, and this is like a dummy battery. So you pop this into your camera, the power goes into the monitor, feeds out of the power output, and then you can plug that into your camera and you can like leave your camera on forever because it's not using battery, it's actually like plugged in. And that's super dope, especially when I'm making paintings. I just put it on my top-down shooting rig, run power into this guy, run power out of that guy, and it's just like no changing batteries. Super sick. So yeah, that's a lot of my camera gear. Thank you guys so much for watching. The most important thing to remember about making YouTube videos is just tell your story. I try to kind of splice a bunch of stuff in there and keep it interesting for my audience. And you don't have to have like the fanciest equipment in the world. You could just use your iPhone or your whatever, like your smartphone. And as long as you can like put your story together and make it entertaining, then I think that you have a potential to make something cool. So all of this gear, like When I first started making YouTube videos, I just had like one simple camera with like the stock lens that it came with and a desire to tell my story. But this has grown. I think I posted my first YouTube video like 9 years ago. So this is just like, it's still not a whole ton of stuff. It's a pretty chill little kind of collection of things that I think are important so that I can make my videos like a little bit better. Just tell your story and, you know, kind of do that. Thanks for checking out this video. If you liked it, please leave a like. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're not already. You can check out a whole bunch of my merchandise and t-shirts and hats and all my crazy art products at 1000art.com. I do free shipping in the United States, international shipping available. For my international people, check out my Patreon if you want to get exclusive behind the scenes content that you can't get anywhere else, podcasts, videos that don't get released on YouTube, Discord server, private Discord server chatting. Check that out for as little as $2 a month. You can support me and also get a bunch more content that you can't get anywhere else. Thank you so much for watching. I'm 1000. I hope you guys like this one. This is like my weird video stuff, and yeah, I'll catch you on the next one. Thank you. Peace out.
Okay now, from the beginning.